This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Top. Told you I was coming non-stop. Told you I was coming with my big dreams. Told you I was coming on the mainstream. Told you I was coming, got proof. With the best of the best, baby, that's just what I do. Told you I was coming with the thick chicks. Eat the pasta, baby, you can know the breadsticks. Told you I was coming with the big boys. Told you I was coming with the big toys. Told you I was coming with the military. Told you I was coming, now you're looking scary. Told you I was coming for the big stage. Told you I was coming out.
Good morning this morning and welcome back to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, your station for fresh news, smart talk all day. We started the show with Told You I Was Coming by D the Entertainer. At the top of the month, or even maybe last month, one of our callers said, Greene, you got to highlight the women artists, the female musicians on your show as well. Well, I have a long playlist of Bahamian women artists that I want to play today, but then I opened up the newspaper and I read this headline: well-being of the Bahamas does not permit us to accede to Amnesty International's request. Of course, the Minister of National Security is talking about repatriations of Haitian migrants found undocumented in the country or found on the sea. I also wanted to talk about the Prime Minister and the leader of the opposition's statements about the UN Security Council. I'm hoping that we can get that far in the discussion this morning. Also, two stories that we may or may not touch on, but are of note. Tourist dies in a boating accident. Tourist dies in boating accident. I think another story that highlights a unspoken crisis in the motor vehicle realm, whether it is a terrestrial vehicle or a marine vehicle. I want to say good morning to the ATV operators that rented an ATV to a couple who were only wearing slippers. You see, that's why I try to highlight small things so that we can address them before they become big things. Nobody thinks it's a problem when subcontractors are on road paving sites wearing slippers and socks. But surely there should be a standard, and we should not be renting motor vehicles to individuals wearing slippers and socks. Let's just call it a standard that must be adhered to for the safety of our visitors and to maintain the integrity of the industry within which you are operating. Another quick story: Police Chief Fernanda announces RBPF Technology Expo event for April. It is called From Pixels to Protection, Innovation in Public Safety. It is the police force's first ever expo. There will also be a drone exhibition. From April 8th to 10th, they will be showcasing technology like shot spotter, CCTV cameras, police vehicles, and drones. Police Commissioner Fernanda told reporters that a new drone unit led by Assistant Commissioner Warren Johnson will be introduced. Text just says the importation of so many small, cheap Japanese cars have turned the country upside down. These cheap cars bring rampant market to cheat innocent people, and government must take responsibility by setting up a public auto service location, train hundreds of local people to work for formal training and employment. Well, I mean, Anybody with eyes could see that we have too many cars and not enough mechanics, not enough certified mechanics. The type of mechanic that when I've incurred an accident and my car is repaired, my insurance agent will look at me and my car with confidence. With confidence. Anyway, those are just small things to touch on. I see we have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller. I am about to start talking repatriations. Good morning.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Good morning, Brandon.
Early day to you and, of course, to your wife.
Yes, sir.
We need justice, law, and order here in this country, the Bahamas.
Absolutely.
Say it again?
I said absolutely.
For real. What I want to say to you, right?
Yes, sir.
I've never heard any women, musicians, done any charity work for any of the Bahamian people. But I know a lot of brothers, a lot of groups would done charity work for Bahamian people. Why is that?
Just because you don't...
Say it again?
Just because you don't focus on the lives of...
Because you don't what?
Because we as a people don't highlight women artists in the same way that we highlight male artists. I'm sure that there are lots of women artists that are engaged in uplifting community
Erin,
and national outreach.
We would have heard it someplace. We would have heard it.
I register
situations gets around. News gets around. I've never heard it.
I got you.
On my years in the Bahamas, and I'm dealing with musicians and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, listening to what they are doing and stuff like that. None. I've never heard not one woman.
Thank you.
Did some charity work for Bahamian people.
I got you. Thank you, Bremen.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Producer, I want you to play that song by Veronica Bishop for me. My husband does teeth too much. Now, Bremen, I don't know what you're talking about because this is one of the best PSAs that ever was published in the Bahamas. Veronica Bishop did us, the whole country, a solid. First of all, by marrying him, so he wouldn't be able to terrorize other Bahamian women. And second of all, by singing this song. Play that song just for 2 seconds for me. Bremen, that's such a weighty interrogation. I don't have the time or space to take that on right now. So I want you to forgive me if you think my response is flippant. Producer can pull that track up in a second. Again, the Japanese car itself is not the problem. It's the attitude of the person that drives the Japanese car that needs to be interrogated. This is Veronica Bishop. My husband does teeth too much.
But he does teeth like that. All up in my present life. This one man I can trust. Searching through my pockets. This man can't get enough. Lord knows my husband does teeth too much.
Why, thank you. Okay, let's get back to the topic at hand. This morning, the headline that drew me out of my music show today is Well-Being of the Bahamas does not permit us to accede to Amnesty International's request. Joining me in studio this morning is Mr. C.A. Nuri. And I'm glad that he's here today. I like to declare my biases. I am an advocate, and I may approach this subject from an advocate's perspective this morning. Good morning, Mr. Nuri.
Good morning, and thanks very much for the invite again. Before you start, did that Veronica Bishop song is a double entendre? That's how you pronounce it? Have two different meaning?
Yeah.
My husband is teeth my stuff.
Teeth too much.
Don't get permission to get it.
Yeah.
It's take it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. See, Bremen, Bahamian women doing the Lord's work every day. Every day. Thank you, Mr. Nuri.
Yeah.
So the Minister of National Security has told us that the well-being of the Bahamas did not permit us to accede to Amnesty International's request. Well, let me tell you what Amnesty International's request is. In the article, Suspend Haiti Deportations, in yesterday's Guardian, as more and more Haitians flee their homeland because of the chaos happening there, Amnesty International said yesterday that countries should suspend repatriation to Haiti. Quote, Amnesty International once again calls on all states in the Americas, and in particular the government of the United States and the Dominican Republic, to put an end to racist policies and practices and to ensure that Haitian nationals are not turned back at the border and have access to a fair and effective asylum procedure, said the international non-governmental organization which focuses on human rights. I'm going to take this caller quickly. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller. You still there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Listen, would you consider Veronica Bishop a national icon or?
Yeah, at this point, I would say Veronica Bishop is a national icon.
All right.
And I tell you why.
Okay.
And it sort of lends to the interrogation of what Brayman said. We have far more male musicians than we do women musicians. So when women musicians are able to hold the mic and command the mic, right, over a long period of time, like Veronica Bishop, a minimum of 20 years, right, then we recognize them as icons. We should have recognized Priscilla as an icon at the 50th Independence celebrations, right? Because of that moment. Independence morning is Priscilla Rollins, right? We should have recognized her. But I do think so.
Speaking of Priscilla Rollins, I was told by a very close relative of her that there was not one politician at the funeral, not one dignitary that was there, to say, well, represent the Bahamas from a political stance, and I thought that was sort of odd.
Well, it's not odd when you understand that the political class cannot tolerate anything that does not propel the political narrative. And so Priscilla Rollins no longer has a place, right, in the eyes of the PLP. Though this new PLP has no idea of the place that Priscilla Rollins held in the old PLP. See, because then when you say the old PLP, then we're talking that you need a sense of time, right, and a sense of space. Because the old PLP is nothing like the new PLP. The old PLP is a product of its time. And that was a time when everybody was PLP, and if they weren't PLP, they still held to the basic fundamental tenets of the PLP, despite disagreement with the politics of the PLP.
Yeah, I agree. But I still think that they should do something in honor of Priscilla Rollins, though.
Absolutely.
Because every year we hear that voice, we hear that song, and it's like a national treasure,
Yes, Independence Morning is Priscilla Rollins.
Thank
the
you.
song was written for her to perform for independence.
And from my being growing up, I've been hearing that same voice every year.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, I have a good one.
Thank you very much. I want to return to the article. So Amnesty International has called upon the United States and the Dominican Republic, in particular, along with the countries of the Americas, to halt repatriations to Haiti. Well, when the Minister of National Security says, quote, well-being of the Bahamas does not permit us to accede to Amnesty International request, on the words of my own Prime Minister in the very same article. Prime Minister is quoted as saying, at the Summit of Americas in June of 2022, which took place in the U.S., 21 countries in our hemisphere signed an agreement that included a commitment to receive refugees. I did not sign this pledge, and I continue to believe this is the right decision for our country. So, it turns out that we do not have to repatriate Haitian migrants fleeing war conditions, the threat of being kidnapped, being killed in the road, being burnt to death. We don't have to return them to Haiti. Why are we not calling upon the Summit of the Americas and the participants that did sign the treaty? Why have you not invoked in your speech in the Bahamas or in Mozambique or on one of your stopovers on your way to Mozambique or back? Why did you, or in Jamaica, when Blinken and all of the world power holders were focused on Haiti, why did you not remind them that there are 21 countries that signed a treaty committing to receiving these refugees? The Minister of National Security says, I will read from the article now in today's Tribune. Well-being of the Bahamas does not permit us to accede to Amnesty International's request. National Security Minister Wayne Munroe rebuffed Amnesty International's call for countries to suspend repatriations to Haiti and revealed that 2 Royal Bahamas Defense Force vessels departed for Haiti with 263 Haitian nationals on Tuesday. In today's paper, the Nassau Guardian, the article is more than 200 Haitian migrants deported. Quote, the Prime Minister is focused on the well-being of the Bahamas, and the well-being of the Bahamas does not permit us to accede Amnesty International's request, Mr. Munroe said. It didn't permit him to sign the Declaration of Los Angeles as the United States of America sought to impress on us to do. I am confident that this Prime Minister will never let down the people of the Bahamas and act against our interests. I am saddened that the government of the Bahamas has let down its people and has presented perhaps one of the most compassionless responses to the world, one of the most disingenuous responses to the world. For surely the same summit that you use as political fodder to satisfy your voters is the same treaty, the same summit that you can use to do the right thing and not return Haitians to Haiti at this time. I know you know about the U.S. lily pad program, as Biden's administration talks about it, because you were at the summit yourself. And so all that we ask for in this Easter season is that you do not bring the Bahamian people into your politics. You play politics by yourself, but do not use the sentiments of Bahamians to further your own political agenda. For there is another solution. There is a compromise that renders both the Bahamian and the Haitian migrant safer than they were before. And let's explore that solution before we talk about returning people to war-like conditions. Remember, Kenya said, anyway, Kenya's my good cousin. Botswana is my good cousin. Ghana is my good cousin. Dominican Republic is my good cousin, even though they're a little uppity sometimes. When you take the politics out of it, then perhaps you will remember there is no government without the people. And there is no moral or ethical justification to hold politics over the well-being of people, no matter what nation they originate from. Just a couple of texts. Text, I see your road traffic text, another text. Female vocalist artists are vital to the music industry. Yes, we are in need of Japanese car auto mechanics. Let's train and create more Bahamian employment. And somebody says we need to get rid of the Japanese cars because they're known as toilet tissue cars or disposable cars. I mean, anything will break up rubbing against these bumpy roads. Maybe an apropos, is that the word? A proper combination. Mr. Nuri, the next story I want to touch on is is as big as the Haitian story. PM, UN Security Council needs reform.
Yes.
Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis said yesterday the UN Security Council needs to be reformed, telling an audience in Botswana that it doesn't make sense that one nation has the power to veto decisions made by the majority of member states. Davis was responding to a question posed by a journalist at a joint press conference in the African nation with Botswana President Masisi. Someone asked about the UN Council. Davis said, yes, we believe that the UN and the Security Council and UN nations itself need to be revamped and reformed. It doesn't make sense that you have how many nations? 180, and you could have 179 voting one way, and one country decides that they are not going to proceed on the basis of what the majority would want, just as an example. Quote, you all understand what's going on in Israel right now. There's an outcry now, and because of countries exercising their veto power, nothing is happening to bring relief or to bring peace to the Middle East. The time has come for the UN to be the UN and what it's established for, to ensure peace in the world. The vote was 13-1, with the US vetoing the vote, and the UK, I think, abstained from the vote. Now, yesterday we touched on that, Mr. Nuri, and you said your prime minister couldn't have said a thing like that. But guess what? The leader of the opposition joins the PM in call for reform of United Nations Security Council. One day after Davis made the statement, Pintard said the FNM believes more equity and decision-making at the United Nations is needed. So the two of them agree. I just wish that they would talk about Israel, though. I just wish that they would talk about Israel. But the point I do want to make just in this moment is, if my prime minister measures his words greatly when approaching this subject, then you understand why people in the media are also trepidatious about delving into this subject. Even me, I don't like to talk about Israel. I like to talk about Netanyahu.
You're just afraid of being victimized.
I mean, no, I'm not afraid of being victimized. I can be honest with you. I've been victimized many times.
You're afraid of cancel culture.
And it's not a very enjoyable experience. I've also been canceled or attempts to cancel me several times.
I'm just saying.
It's entertaining, but it's not enjoyable.
I'm just saying a certain set of people you should not talk about. They shall be nameless.
The same Harry Potter. I know Voldemort. I mean, he ain't got no nose, but he's a cool dude. What I'm saying is, though...
You say their name, and they shall come. For you.
And this is a prevalent concern in the world right now with people who want to engage in substantive, critical interrogation of world politics.
Even our prime minister is quite aware that certain names you don't call aloud. He can call the UN Council, but he wouldn't call the person and critique the person who voted no or voted against it.
Yeah. But I think that we should all recognize now, and I will say this, the Israel-Hamas war, I want you to understand that the Israel-Hamas war, Hamas is a group. They're like an NGO with a focus on militant resistance. They're an NGO. The country of Israel has launched a war against an organization, and the people living in the Palestinian region are the collateral damage for this proxy war. I just want to read quickly. The Israel-Hamas war started on October 7, 2023, when Hamas militants launched an invasion on southern Israel, killing more than 1,000 people and taking 250 others hostage. Since then, Gaza health officials say more than 29,000 Palestinians have been killed in Israel's military response, many of them women and children. Many of them residing in hospitals for safety because it is a war crime to bomb a hospital.
You saying that no hospital got bombed yet?
No, what I'm saying is that that's the type of silence that develops around conversations about Israel because people are still trepidatious about talking about it. But I think it's important in this Easter season to acknowledge.
I am concerned for you and your well-being. I say certain people you don't talk about, Erin.
But here's what I'm saying. While
hot-head bird don't make good soup.
I still think it's important enough to point out in this Easter season, while we in the Bahamas are celebrating, our defense force is interdicting migrants in the water, and they are part of a process of returning them to the same war-torn conditions that they seek to flee. In the same breath, I'm attempting to have a conversation, as difficult as it is, not with you, but just with the nature of media and global politics, that highlights an atrocious and horrific event taking place in the Palestinian region.
I see you went back, right? And I wanted to comment on it, but I know we transitioned. What is asylum, and who gets asylum? And usually asylum is not economics, right? We don't give asylum for economics. So we give asylum for either political...
People who are being persecuted politically.
Or fleeing war, maybe. I'm not even sure if we'd even do that here.
Fleeing war-like conditions in their country. People who perceive a threat, like an extrajudicial threat to their lives.
And I see this group is asking for these particular migrants to be considered for asylum, but asylum still have a particular characteristic about it, right? So if these particular people are being persecuted for political reason, one, or if there is a war for the whole island that they are fleeing, mind you, the persons who are fleeing Haiti at this present time are still economics. They're not necessarily fleeing for this war.
Pardon?
I don't necessarily think so. Is there a war in this?
Pardon? I want to stick a pin there.
I'm going to ask now. Is there a war for the northern part of Haiti? Is it northern or southern? Northern part of Port-au-Prince or wherever these majority of people coming from. Are they under siege?
Well, let me ask you a question. What part of Haiti did Henry, the former prime minister, what part did he land in to regain his, to retain, to continue his governance? What part of Haiti was he permitted to land in to continue governing Haiti? See, I appreciate people saying that, well, there's only conflict in one part of Haiti, but the prime minister was not permitted, and I want you to understand the language. He was not permitted to return to his own country in any jurisdiction of that country. If that's not sufficient, I will tell you and the wider public, if I have even a reasonable suspicion that somebody's going to be burnt in tires because of a disagreement in political belief, I get in my best tennis on and I walk in straight to the Florida Keys. I don't even need a boat. I'm going to pretend I'm an athlete. I'm going to walk my way straight to the Florida Keys. And I don't understand how Bahamians who, every time a hurricane is approaching, thinks about whether now is a good time for a vacation, cannot understand what the conditions are like in Haiti and why people would want to flee that. Producer, let's go to the phone line. Good. Coming to you right now, caller. Text here, decades ago, His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie said the UN and its organs need reform if it is to survive. One love. Good morning, caller.
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning, my cousin on the radio.
Blessings, cousin. I'm so glad you called back.
No, it's the first time calling.
Okay.
I know the next person is together. Hurry up before you talk.
No, from yesterday.
Remind people that I had considered amount of time on the radio. Good morning, Mr. Erin. Good
Yes,
morning
sir.
to everyone else who's listening.
Yes, cousin.
Yeah, listen, I trying to find out what I mean, it's all about solution, right?
Yeah.
And we could agree to disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if you know how the majority of people feel. Maybe none of us know. But listening to people, it seems like, and maybe you might have a different opinion, that the majority of the Bahamian people agree with what the Prime Minister and the Minister of National Security is doing, and they don't want those people here. They want to help out as
Yeah.
much as we could, but they don't want. But what about the solution? What about the problem over there? I mean, it should be.
But we got a temporary solution. 21 countries signed a treaty that the Bahamas didn't sign to receive these the migrants on this very same journey. Those countries have signed on to receive migrants that have been caught at sea. So there could be a compromise. You don't have to.
You're saying we have a duty, like Mr. Neris be saying, to maybe make not noise, but to encourage the countries who said that, who sign on, to do what they're supposed to do.
Absolutely.
Okay, I don't think people would disagree with you with that, but I wonder if we should be just help them with allowing them to. Is the solution them leaving, all of them leaving their country and coming to other people countries, or stopping the crime and the raping and the killing and all that stuff what happening there?
So
I wonder if we should be more concerned
about what?
The solution, the problem what they have there, why they leaving.
I think we should be concerned.
Huh?
I think we should be concerned because soon we may find we have the same problem.
Huh? Say it again.
I said I think we should be concerned because soon we may realize that we're living in the same problem.
Well, I think some of us realize it, and it could get worse and just as bad or even worse than it happening over there because not just the culture. I don't know if the word is the culture or the way they carry some of the people carry on.
You mean Europeans? Because I think the culture of Europeans is the problem. I thought that's what we were talking about, though.
You're getting smarter and smarter every day, my cousin, on the radio. Listen, I talking about the way the people them in Haiti carrying on.
I'm talking about the same thing. See, the question I put on the table is this, Papa. We cannot devise a solution until we determine what the problem is. And I put this question.
You're saying the same thing, but listen to me. The problem ain't just them. The problem ain't us trying to protect the Bahamas like the minister and the prime minister saying.
I agree with you. That couldn't be the problem.
Signing on and the problem is they having a problem over there.
Okay.
And they saying that they don't want too much people to come over there, and they saying that the Haitian is the solution. They could fix the problem.
So the question I put on the table is
let me put a
Haiti?
on the table.
Hold on. Is Haiti a failed state, or is Haiti an occupied state?
No, pause for you?
No. As soon as I finish saying this, then you could say it. I ain't gonna hang up.
No.
The question is Haiti a failed state, or is Haiti an occupied state?
Well, I think kind of show all two in a way, and they getting to be like a problem for the neighbors, for the other countries around them.
Okay.
Who helping over the years, and only who could do so much. Tell me something. Put this on the table, man.
I ready.
I wonder, like, is it unfair, like how they do some parts of the world, and we hear what the Haitian people saying. America, this, and France, and Canada, and they don't want this one, and they won't be the solution for their problem. They could help. You hear what barbecue them saying. You hear the people saying they're getting raped and killed every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
What about hiring some mercenaries to go deal with the gangs? Not with the Haitian people, but the gangs who killing and raping people. Since they don't want America and the Bahamas to be doing maritime. Think about it. I mean, it might sound crazy.
You mean like the hired mercenaries that assassinated the former president of Haiti?
It don't have, listen. The mercenaries was go different countries to deal with the criminals and the gangs with the government who need no help.
Papa, which leads us back to my initial question: is Haiti a failed state or is it an occupied state?
Erin?
Yeah, I hear you.
We need to deal with the problem over there, and let's support and salute. And I hear you saying, in compassionate, like you, what the government is saying, and they speaking on behalf of the Bahamian.
No, they're not, Papa.
Huh?
No, they're not. And I will take this time.
The majority of us, listen to me, is plenty people might agree with you, Ms. Greene.
Papa.
But I'm saying,
Papa.
Yes?
The Bahamian people agree that we cannot absorb.
Yes.
Right? And I can tell you why we can't absorb them.
Why
because we're in an administrative crisis. That's why. I want you to understand that clearly.
Not only that, it's just that we've been helping over the years, Ms. Greene.
Papa.
Mm-hmm.
Papa.
Ms. Greene, we could wear our hearts on our sleeve, but we got to use our brains too.
And that's what I'm asking the Bahamian people to do, Papa.
We support what the Prime Minister and the government doing. We're being disappointed.
I don't support them returning Haitians to war-torn conditions. I do not support.
Hold
on, Papa.
You hear what the governor in Florida say?
Papa.
Yes?
I gotta go. I got another caller. You mean DeSantis?
Yes.
I don't really.
And they get more money and they could do more than us. Come on, man.
You remember the part of the U.S. anthem, the rockets red glare and the bombs bursting in air?
Different from talking here.
After I hear the bombs bursting in the airport, I can't listen to DeSantis anymore.
Are you willing to go to Haiti to help them with their problem? Do you suggest that different from us talking here, who wearing our hearts on our sleeve and care so much, right?
Papa.
What are we doing with the solution to go over there? Or
Papa.
If we can fix the problem.
Papa, I got to go now. Before I go, I want you to hear me say this while you're still on the phone with me. The best thing that we can do for Haiti is to bring rationale to the discussion. We can honor our hearts because our brains cannot function without our hearts. But the best thing we could do for Haiti is to bring rationale to the situation. And I want to say to you today that I agree with you. You today reflect the sentiments of the Bahamian people, the temperament of the Bahamian people, the fear and the concerns of the Bahamian people. But my Bahamian people who declare that they are Christians and who declare that they walk with God's love, and their purpose is to show God's love, there is no space in our hearts or in our brains, our minds, or our country for us to be returning Haitians to Haiti, especially when a reasonable and mutually agreed upon solution exists, which is 21 countries agreed to receive these very same migrants. And the Prime Minister has not once said that we have implored those countries to live up to their commitment and they have refused. Until then. And then we get a response from the U.S. No, I'm not supporting the government's actions. Thank you, Papa. Good morning, caller. Let's go to the next caller quickly, producer. Caller, thank you for your patience. If you're still there. Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
How you doing?
Hi, good.
Give me a second, Lola. Am I ready? Yeah. First of all, morning, Nuri.
Morning, ma'am. Listen to you.
Nuri, you all sound low, man. You gotta get a good mic from Nuri.
Yep.
You see, Nuri say he don't want nobody record this call with his voice on it. Go on.
I support Israel.
Okay.
But not going into because it's not a detail, but I support Israel.
Smart, man.
On the Haiti situation, the council agreed to, I think about the election soon, they agreed to monitor the election.
Who agreed?
The council.
Oh, the Transitional Council.
The Transitional Council, yes.
Okay.
You're aware of that, right?
Yes, there's not going to be an election in 2025.
2025?
No, there won't be an election in 2025.
So it's going to be 2026?
Possibly, but it ain't going to be next year.
So what they going to do in the interim for this, for the rest of this year?
I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm going to pray for no loss of life. That's what I can do.
There's going to be more loss. They do it every day. There's a loss of life.
Yeah.
I am monitoring it to various media. AP is my best media to monitor it
It's
on.
devastating, the images coming out of Haiti.
Oh man, it's so devastating. They gotta move fast. And I think I advise the Bahamas, my government, to buy more defense force boats. Because we need to have more blockage in our islands. You know?
Okay.
We worked with the Turks to kick its islands is good. We're working with Cuba. Cuba got sophisticated equipment also. But I just feel like we need to do more because they know how to get to South Beach. Well, that's a hint right there. We need to do more in those areas.
Okay.
But the more me, you and Sawyer Boy got to be talking. I hope you get your list.
We're talking aquatics, we're talking Carifton, we're talking...
I'm talking about the madness, man. You don't get your list. You don't get it.
We can talk about it. I'm glad you brought it to my attention, and I will make sure I can make sure I have some March Madness stats on it.
On you.
I'm more excited about the NBA, man. And we got Bahamians in
the NBA. Erin, Greene.
Pumpkin, I got to go. I got another call on.
Yeah, we talk more about that. I educate you on that tomorrow.
Send me a WhatsApp with all the Bahamians playing in March Madness.
No, do your own way.
Okay, then. See if we can talk about it at all, then. I put Israel on you. Let's go to the next. We got to go to a break, producer. You playing the music? Let's go to the caller quickly, please. Yeah. Good morning, caller. I'm sorry to have held you so long.
Erin on CA.
Yes, sir.
Now, I see where our prime minister is coming from. We've been absorbing Haitians for the last how many years? Last forever. The other countries who ain't got none, let them do their part. Because remember, we have to watch the count. Let's say we let 100,000, 200,000 Haitians come here. We'll be like Miami. My black family who helped build Miami, they run Miami. After the Mario boat left, it's all Spanish now. There'll never be a black mayor in Miami again, or a white
So it was cool when the Bahamians migrated to Miami, but it's not cool when the Spanish people migrate to Miami.
But I'm saying that's the reason why my black family got to go to Atlanta for a job, because they lost the count. Got to keep watch the count.
Okay.
But watch the count. If you can't absorb too much, they will overnumber you. This is reality. We being good. Go to Cuba. Go to Jamaica, Barbados. They ain't got no Haitian there. So it's time for them to build up some Haitian community.
So,
Yes,
sir, caller. Okay, so you missed the part where the conversation was not about whether we can absorb the migrants, but the conversation is about what do we do with the migrants, whether we return them to war-torn Haiti or whether we call on the 21 countries that agree to receive migrants. Pause. I want you to respond to what I'm saying. Because if you don't, caller, press mute. If you don't respond to what I'm saying, then you're proving the point that I'm making, that we are being hysterical about the matter. The best thing, you see, you still talking, you on mute. I tell you I can mute you. You on mute and you still talking. That's how irrational we're being about this discussion. Because at no point did I say that we must absorb the migrants. The singular point that I made was, I cannot accept the statement by the Minister of National Security because there's a solution that exists beyond absorbing all the migrants. And it's disingenuous politics. Like the young folks say, to be running this tape for sensible people. I'm going to go to a break. And when we come back from the break, keep calling. Express your opinion. You see, I gave the other callers lots of space. We may disagree, but that doesn't mean we can't come together. We're going to a break. We'll be right back.
Love the show? Want to give your support? Become a sponsor today. Call 302-2300 for our rates and packages. That's 302-2300. Become a sponsor on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The Grand Bahama News is available every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian. You can buy your local paper at Freeport Convenience Stores, Western Bakery, DeGregory's Fine Foods, and Bellevue Gifts. Now is the time to reach your Grand Bahama market with affordable packages, including print and digital. Call GB News Sales Representative Kavandre at 822-6717 or message him on WhatsApp for ad rates. Classified ads are now available every Tuesday as well. Keep up with everything Grand Bahamian every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
I got a feeling, hey, energy vibing, you know what I'm feeling. This could be good for you, good for you. The Haman woman is good for you. Started talking, tired of talking. Hey.
See, Brayman, look at that next PSA. Bahamian woman is good for you, just like milk and vegetables. Anyway, that's Ilsha McPhee, the winner of the Golden Jubilee Song Competition with one of her newest tracks, Bahamian Woman, Good for You. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Erin, Greene. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you, sir. How you do?
Wonderful. Where is Mr. Nuri?
He right here.
Nuri ain't saying nothing. What happened, Nuri?
I listening.
It's because the U.S. listening too. He ain't saying.
And I need to keep my visa.
What happened? Cat get Nuri, don't they?
No. I need to keep my visa, and it's a smart one here. Erin don't need to drive.
Okay, listen. See, Erin. Yeah, you tammering switching us Bahamians for not critically thinking, right? But I think you kind of need to turn that time and switch on yourself a little bit stupid, this repatriation thing.
Mm-hmm.
What I hear you are saying and a lot of people saying and not thinking about it, we need to go sit the war room, me, you, Nuri, and the Bahamian people, come up, find out what's happening with Haiti, come up with a proper strategy and deal with it. All of us are all over the place saying this and saying that, yes, we need to be humane about the situation. Second of all, what is the problem in Haiti? The problem in Haiti is they are having a civil unrest and disobedience in Port-au-Prince and the surrounding areas. Then you must look at the size of Haiti. Because it's largely only interested around the Port-au-Prince area, there are other airports in the size of Haiti that are open to repatriation. Haiti is not having all-out war in the entire country like what you are saying. It's only centered around the Port-au-Prince area, so therefore repatriation can still take place.
Okay, so I hear you. So first things,
we must be critical.
Yes,
thinkers.
but you have not responded to what it is I said. I never said. So first of all, I never said that the Bahamian government has an obligation to absorb these migrants. I said that if the Prime Minister is going to tout that he didn't sign the agreement, but 21 other countries signed the agreement to receive these migrants, why hasn't the Prime Minister indicated to us that he has engaged those other 21 countries along with the United States to tell them it is now your time to come and pick up these migrants and take them to the countries that you said you would receive them in? I never said that we should absorb the migrants.
Well, now, we know from living here, being here, and with our Prime Minister, we know sometimes how they operate. Sometimes information is forthcoming, sometimes it is not. However, the flip side of that, he really don't have to, by abstaining from signing, he really don't have to tell them other nations that because they signed. It should be automatic for them.
That's cool. So we just can send the migrants back to Haiti.
Well, like some people your callers saying, we ain't signed. That's number one. And two, the war is not all over Haiti. And three, we overrun. So the only thing we could do is continue our, like America and them, continue our repatriation efforts.
Okay.
Okay, no problem.
I want to thank you for your contribution. I don't think you responded to what it is that I said, though, right? I appreciate the critique. Nobody other than me mentioned the 21 countries. Not even the Minister of National Security. Not even the Prime Minister. That's the point that I'm making, right? Simply that this is not a black and white. Saying that you won't absorb the migrants doesn't mean that you automatically repatriate them to Haiti. There are options available. And why has the government not invoked the other option? That's the point that I'm making. The second point I made was I think it is disrespectful for the state to play on the sentiments and fears of Bahamians in this matter, because they know how Bahamians feel. They know the concerns. They know the fears, whether they're rational or irrational. But in the Easter season, I wanted to call upon us to think about these things, to juxtapose the two issues. See, the caller pumpkin eater say, I support Israel. I don't think it's as black and white as that, because he said it to me as if you don't support Israel. I've always said I support the people of Israel. I am concerned about Netanyahu's policies and the global response to Netanyahu's policies and the Israeli government's call for genocide. Yep. Supporting the Israeli people doesn't mean you don't support the Palestinian people. You can support both sets of people at the same time. See, but I know where the disconnect comes, because you believe that only Jews are Semites, but Palestinians and Jews are Semites. They're all Semites, because we're talking about a language, the Semitic language, right? Just how Latin America isn't just people of Spanish descent. It refers to language, people who speak the Latin languages. So Latin America includes both French-speaking and Spanish-speaking countries.
I like how you talk about chosen people. These people chosen.
That's okay, I choose me.
Okay.
In the absence of being chosen, there's always the option to choose yourself. A text here says, let's talk about anything else, please. Good morning, Erin. Respectfully, Erin, I say that the Prime Minister is acting in accordance with the will and wishes of the majority of the Bahamian people. We will not and cannot accommodate any more Haitian migrants in this country, and we mandate that this government continue to aggressively seek out the ones already here and return them to their home. Full stop. Texter. Even if they're burning people in tires in their home, I'm telling you something. And I want to tell it to you from my perspective as someone who has been regularly threatened with death. Someone who was stalked repeatedly for over 3 years. Someone who has been assaulted and battered by people known to me and people unknown to me. From my perspective as someone who has suffered a tremendous amount of violence, including the white woman who this weekend told me that when she gets the chance, and she's in her nice uniform, she's gonna victimize me. I want to tell it to you from that perspective. I'm ready to leave now. Y'all don't even have to start burning people in tires. I'm ready to go now. But if y'all start burning people in tires, I'm going to invoke the spirit of Harriet Tubman. And I'm going to float all us in the boat to wherever we need to go for safety.
Canada. No, too far. I went too far there. Not Canada.
Nuri, let me tell you another story. I was supposed to be born in Africa, but my mother was freaking out with the scheduling. Producer, let's go to these calls. Oh, I'm so sorry, callers. We are out of time. Producer, play that song again. Ask Me Why I Run by Calypso Mama. Maureen Duvalier, another Bahamian icon with another important PSA for the Bahamian people. Thank you for tuning in to On the Clock. Papa, Pumpkin Eater, the next caller, all of you that called, we may not disagree, but that don't mean we cannot come together. And I say respectfully, thank you for engaging the conversation this morning. It's Easter season. If you're going to force all the non-Christians to celebrate, you celebrate it yourself. Let's have a great day.
When I began to shout, if I can't come in, she can't come out. The woman with the gun